Welcome to Project Infinity. This pack was made by Bolt Magic, and it's time to make the factory grow. There's automation, multidimensional resource extraction, and convoluted recipes. Where most automation mod packs I've dabbled in the past, and with you obtaining some ultimate singularity or some other final product that requires you to use everything you've learned up until that point, obtaining the ultimate singularity or other ultimate items is just the mid-game for Project Infinity. There are 12 Infinity ingots that you must work your way through the pack to obtain, and finally craft the Creative ME storage drive just to complete the pack. I think that's enough preamble for now. I'll explain what to do for each ingot as we go through the pack, so don't worry about it too much for now. To start, we spawn in on a typical skyblock island with a tree and limited space, and for some reason 47 trillion EMC. I don't know how I got it, but I can't use it for a while. So I follow the standard ex nihilo start. Barrel, crook, silkworm, string, mesh, sieve, hammer. To get started on automation, I want to set up at least 9 auto sieves and hammers, and in order to do that, I need power. A good early game source of power in this pack are mag mortars, which require lava for power. I'll spare you the 30 minutes it took to get basic lava generation and just show you the janky initial setup. In previous versions of the pack, gas-burning generators from Mekanism were a decent early game source as well, but they were nerfed in either 0.50 or 0.49. I seem to have gotten ahead of myself in the script, so I'll just give this a minute to catch up to where I am, and then I'll put on some elevator music and we can just relax. As you can see in the background, I decided to move to the mining dimension because I don't like sleeping. It wastes time that I could be using working on the factory, and I don't want to deal with phantoms. So, enjoy this little time lapse of me moving to the mining dimension. We pick back up with me making emerald armor so that I can take on the gateway to unlock passive animals. I wouldn't get too attached, however. This is because hostile neural networks is in the pack, and in order to complete the pack I need to get the ultimate prediction. And you can probably guess how to get that. You know, in my first playthrough, I was absolutely dreading getting into Botania. The irony here is that I'm using Botania to get passive animals. I guess it's not really that ironic, but oh well. Something to think about. I zoned out a little bit while doing the gateway, because I was trying to figure out what to do next. I hadn't decided on using hostile neural networks yet, but I came to that conclusion shortly after getting the passive animals. I was also thinking about how to do better power generation until I could get the Void Miner solar panels. I hadn't come up with anything yet, but now I think I'm just going to upgrade all the way to a spirited mag mortar and hope that that's enough to run the normal void miners so that I can build up the solar panels. After rounding up the animals, I decided to change my autosieve setup to make it a little easier to push and pull to them. I also decided to go to the Lost Cities to start setting up AE2. In between now and then, I went to the Nether to collect Nether quartz to upgrade my energizing orb setup, as well as going to the end mining dimension so that I have an infinite supply of endstone. I set up a basic HNN simulation area, started looking into flux networks, and went to the hunting dimension to kill enough skeletons to be able to simulate skulls so that I can go to the Lost Cities. Brave Sir Robin ran away. No! Bravely ran away, away. I didn't! Oh yeah, I also made a jetpack and then couldn't get it to hold any power for a while. So, yeah. Now, if you've never been to the Lost Cities, the way to get there, well, you're about to see. You don't exactly build a nether portal or an aether portal. Um, yep, that's how you do it. I always spawn underground in the Lost Cities. I don't know why. Maybe it's just like where I put my bed in the overworld, but oh well, I don't really mind. I made a detour to make a meteorite compass so that I could find one of the meteorites from AE2. Unfortunately, I think because I crafted it in the mining dimension, it couldn't find any meteors. So I just went back, made a structure compass, pointed it towards a meteor, and came back to the Lost Cities. There's the meteorite now. Inside the meteorite, if you need the refresher or have never played AE2, is a bunch of different tiers of budding Certus quartz crystals and a box of mysterious components. Now that box contains 4 different circuit presses, which are used to craft processors, and you need a whole bunch of processors for everything you do in AE2. So before you do anything else, this step is absolutely mandatory. After going back to base, I made a few cardboard boxes, then teleported back to the meteorite to get the flawless budding crystals. These will be useful later, trust me. Once I came back to base, I made 4 inscribers and set them up to make processors so that I could get my network started. To be honest, I'm a bit of an AE2 rookie, so you won't see anything advanced like P2P tunnels, because I don't really know how they work, but you will see me use a lot of wireless connections, as long as I can remember to count to 32. At this point, I'd been playing all afternoon. I'd even taken a break to eat dinner. Um, this was like 5 hours of footage. I'm surprised I managed to condense it into 8 minutes, but I did skip over a lot. So next time, I'm going to try to get started on automating some things for AE2, or not AE2, for Infinity 1. But until then, thank you very much for your time. I hope you stick with me for this series, and I hope I can beat this pack faster than I did the first time.